related to education, oddly, and the second thing that people bring up to you a lot is public safety.
Yes.
Public safety encompasses a lot of things.
Yes.
In education, it encompasses things like SROs in schools, school
Right.
resources officers, police in schools. We also have issues of bullets flying into neighborhoods in your ward, like the Mount Hope region.
In my apartment complex.
Right, exactly. We had a very high-profile murder last year.
Right.
Right.
Right across the street from where I lived.
Yeah. So, I want to talk about public safety and what that looks like.
Yeah, so I think public safety has a lot of facets. One, let's start on accountability. We need to hold our police accountable because when people don't believe in the legal system, they take matters into their own hands. And so if we don't hold our police accountable, if we don't create faith in our public safety systems, then people aren't going to have faith in our systems to solve their problems. And I think that looks like turning para to a civilian-led board. I think that looks like highly restricting or even banning pepper spray because in the protests on the highway, I was pepper sprayed.
Right.
I was pepper sprayed while I was helping someone get out of harm's way. And so, these type of scenarios create legal cynicism. And when we have that, it makes our system less effective. Now, when we go into, actually solving the increase of violent crimes, we have the tools at our disposal to do that. Right, we have the Real Jobs RI initiative, right? We have, these workforce initiatives. And right now what they're doing is they're bringing people who are formerly incarcerated and getting them into high-paying jobs, right? We need to have a preventative measure on that. We need to put people who have been exposed to crimes, who have, connections to people who've been involved in crimes, and we need to put them in a pipeline to jobs, housing stability, and therapies. And so Boston has done this, right? And they've seen that while the country's violent crime has increased, theirs has not at the same rate.
Interesting.
And so, we know that if you offer a job, housing stability, and therapy to someone who's involved in crime or disposed to crime, there's 60%, there's a 60% chance they'll take it, right? And so, that not only makes it easier for police to police, but it also, solves the problem. If we arrest more people, crime stats just go up.
Right.
That's not solving the problem. And so we also need to free up what our police do. Our police shouldn't be at construction sites. Our police shouldn't be, responding to mental health crises from someone who may be harmless, right? And, we can use predictive analysis and use data to determine, right? 95% of the police calls are nonviolent. Right. About 60% of those calls, we can predict that there will not be a violent outcome, right? Just from the history in the past, data is very effective. And so we can team up police with social workers for the ones that may be violent. For the ones that aren't violent, we can have a response team that is not police. And so we've already started down this path. But I think that, we're going to need state support and we're going to need to consolidate programs that already exist and then put them at disposal of these programs.
When you talked about PARA, which is the group that oversees the police, a civilian group, but it's run by the city, right?
Right.
One of the things that PARA doesn't have is the ability. It doesn't have any teeth.
Right.
It doesn't have any ability to compel testimony.
Right.
It can't look at police evidence the same way, let's say, the Attorney General can.
Right.
In fact, there's rulings by the Attorney General that keeps PARA out of the loop on certain investigations.
Right.
So that would be something you'd be interested in seeing?
100%. I think that, we have to, a lot of times we create these systems that don't have teeth for a reason. Yeah. Because, we want to say we did something, but then also not actually do the thing. And so I think that, we need to make these systems of accountability actually have the teeth to hold people accountable. Yeah. And, we've seen with the Jose Bautista situation, what happens when we create these systems that are meant to do something, but they don't have the actual jurisdiction to do it.
Jose Bautista being the former head of PARA.
Right, who released the footage.
Director who released some video. And
and that was the right call. And, I 100% support that call he made.
Yeah, I did too as a journalist.